Hey, Professor K here. And last time we ran into some mishaps and some fun with trying to use event listeners in a function. And we learned that we couldn't do what we wanted to do with the data, so we just kind of restructured the data to make it work. It was an interesting and it was a good time. If you didn't watch that video, go back and watch it. But in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on that final part of the Animal Crossing names tutorial with functions, which is to actually append the names in the document as opposed to console logging it out. Let's get started. All right, so here we are on CodePen, and remember that our goal is to get these names into the JS Animals container. That's our end goal, and I've rewritten our goal statement to reflect that. So our goal is now, instead of logging out the name, append each name to the animals container so that it actually shows in the HTML here. And the way that we're going to do that is by using document.appendChild. I'm pretty sure this is the right way to go here. All right, so let's give this a try. Here, we need to say what element to try to append this to. Now, how do we do that with our button? If you need to take a look down at line 50, right? We did a const animals button, and we did a document query selector to get to that. So we could even just copy and paste this, knowing this is where we want to end up. And let's call it something different than animals button. Let's call it animals container. And now we want to query the selector, not show animals, that's our button. We want to query this animals container selector. So I'm just going to copy and paste that. Don't bother typing stuff that you don't have to. You're much more prone to making mistakes as opposed to copy pasting, where you're probably not going to misspell something. So I would recommend copying and pasting. Just reduce those errors. Okay, so now we have an animals container. Let's check that this worked by console.logging animals container, just to start with. I always like to check just to rule out anything real quick. So let's save and run, show the animals. Okay, so now we can see the animals container there. Perfect. All right, so here I have my handy dandy Google off towards the side here. I've pulled up W3 Schools just because they've got really simple examples here. And I'm just gonna have this in the background just in case I need it, but I think I know what I need to do here. I think I just need to take, instead of doing this console.log, I'm just gonna try to append something to animals container. I'm not gonna even worry about what it is yet. I'm just gonna try appending something. So animals container.append child, and I'm just gonna put a string in here, hello. All right, so let's save this, run it, and let's see what happens in the console. Or ideally in the browser, actually, this is what should be happening. So when we click show the animals, if I've got this right, stuff should show in the animals container. Oh, okay, fine. Append child didn't work. All right, let's look this up. Document append JavaScript. You can't always remember everything. So this is expecting an object. Now there are what are called nodes in JavaScript. They hold anything and everything in JavaScript. They could hold this bit of HTML here. They could hold text. So one way to solve this would be to use create text node. Let's see. Let's do const text to append equals hello. And then let's pass, oh, you know what? I didn't do anything yet here. We need to do create text node. Document.create text node hello. It's a little clunky. Sometimes JavaScript is just a little clunky. Okay, there we go. That worked. All right, you know what? I'm gonna go with that. There's other ways we could do this. I can remember somewhere in the back of my mind some other way that didn't require me to do this, but I'm not coming up with it now. So create text node it is. All right, so we have our text to append, create text node, hello, and we needed to create a text node because append child expects a node, an object, something, not just plain old text. It'd be sure nice if it did do plain old text. Now check this out, look at this, look how close these are. Hello, hello, hello. Well, that's not quite what we want. We don't want them all squished together. We probably want a space in between them. So here, I'm gonna create a text node, but I'm just gonna add a space in between my quotes in this string. And we're going to run this and then click the button. And there we go. That's a bit more like what I expected. Boy, computers are dumb sometimes. You'd think they'd just put the space in for you, but computers can't guess that sort of thing, so you gotta put the space in for it. All right, so what do we have here? We've got some sort of text showing up where we want it, but we really want it to be the animal's object name. So let's try and make that jump right now. This is a good time to make that jump. In our for loop on line 44, you should see that console.log statement. I want you to copy the name, animals object at i.name, and instead of placing hello in here in string, in quotes, I want you to just paste in that animal's object name, and we're going to see what that gets us. So let's clear this out. Let's save and run. So this is run. We're going to click show the animals. The animals are in there. Oh, but our space is gone. Computers! The worst. Okay, so what do we do to fix this? Well, if we tried to do the same thing we did last time, put quotes around it and a space in here, what do you think's going to happen? Let's give it a try. It's not going to work. I could tell you why right now, because I'm the teacher, but I'm not gonna. Look at that. Here, now I'll tell you why. It's because this is a string. You said this is an exact string, right? So putting quotes and a space at the end isn't going to work. How can we solve this? We want this animal's object.name, but we also want the space. How do we get both in here? Well, think back to one of our earlier lessons. You can combine strings, right? Okay, so there's a couple ways of going about this. You could put a space, a plus, and another quote in here. So animal's object.name plus, and then literally a space in quotes. This is called adding strings together. What's the word for that? There's a word for that. I'll come up with it in a minute. Let's run this and let's see what happens. Okay, so we've got our space in between each. Nice. So I think it's concatenation or something. I'll remember it like after this video is done. Okay, so that's one way you can handle this. Totally valid. The other way, the kind of neat shortcut you have in JavaScript in ES6 is to use these tick marks. So these are right below the tilde on your keyboard, just a little tick mark. And if you want, what you can do is you can do what's called variable interpolation. So the way that that works is everything in the tick marks is read as a string until you put this $sign and curly bracket in front of it. Until the end of that curly bracket, everything inside gets read as a variable. So what we can do here is, instead of using those double quotes, which didn't produce the result we wanted, we could use the single tick mark and this special interpolation syntax to put this in line in a string. So let's see what that looks like. It'll look exactly the same, but you'll see why it's kind of cool in a minute. All right, so we'll run this, show the animals. Okay, exact same thing. So why would we use this syntax? Well, it's really handy for when you have a sentence where your variable is what you want in the sentence. You can see that I have a typo in here. It's really handy. It's not really hand, but you can see, it's too bad it didn't do the new line here, but you can see that this sentence repeated 3 times. And what's different about it? Well, you can see it's really handy for when you have a sentence where Isabel is what you want in the sentence. And now check this out. Brewster is in the sentence. Pascal is in the sentence. So this is really cool. This means that you can get these pieces into sentences. And that can be really handy for changing text on the fly, such as in a user interface. Maybe you show an alert or a warning and you want to say, hey, something went wrong. That's when these tick marks can really help. But let's get back to our original goal. I'm going to use a simpler syntax for this, just because this isn't too complicated. And I'm just going to join this variable using a plus with the space. And then we're going to have exactly what we want. So one more time, clearing the console. Oh, you know what? We've got some things that we could tidy up here. So let's show the animals. Yep, did it right. Perfect. But we've got some like spare console.logs that we could get rid of here. So we don't need that anymore. Always clean up your console.logs when you're finishing up your code. Always clean out your commented stuff. We don't need this anymore. Oh, this is nice and tidy. And now, instead of having a goal statement here, we could say adds animals to the animals container. So great commenting is not just handy for goal statements, it's handy for helping explain to other developers what's going on with your code. So we can turn our goal statement into that commented code. All right, so final run. We've cleaned our code up. It looks nice and beautiful. Everything's handy, handy, handy. Gonna run it. And now we're gonna clear the console, show the animals. Oh, perfect. Man, all that just to get 3 little animals to show in an animals container. Amazing. Phew. All right, so that is how you write a function, how you use event listeners, and then finally, how you can start changing and modifying pieces in the document in order to work data in, get text in, all kinds of stuff. Now, we used append for this assignment, for this tutorial, but you could use anything from append child to like create, there's like different ways to create HTML in JavaScript. The main idea is that you need to create some sort of JavaScripty version of whatever content you want to insert, whether that's a list item, whether that's an H1 tag, a paragraph, or a simple text node like we did today. And then you can use that append to get that element into the document. So hopefully that helps you understand more about functions. That should give you good groundwork for making progress on whatever code problems you want to solve. I'll see you later.